of the Alfa Romeo 156 in Australia. Alfa Romeo has never been a very common car in Australia, and a 156 is no different. And while most Australians know what an Alfa Romeo is, very few are sold. Anyway, the 156 was released in 1996 to the international market, but it was not until 1999 when they arrived in Australia. The car in this video is one of the first imported 1999 models. There were 3 different engines available. The first was the twin spark, a dual overhead cam 4-cylinder motor which had 2 spark plugs per cylinder. Unusually, the spark plugs on the dual overhead cams were not oppositely opposed like in older Alfa twin spark engines, but instead one larger plug is mounted in the centre of the combustion chamber and the other, a smaller plug, is located on the edge of the combustion chamber. The idea was to have a faster burn due to the flame having to travel a shorter distance, and this also helps the car to have a lean burn of 18:1 at idle. These motors had 4 coil packs, each controlling 2 plugs. These engines also had variable valve timing. This Alfa has the 2-litre twin spark, which makes 114 kilowatt and 186 Newton meters of torque. But there was also a 1.6 and a 1.8 litre version of the twin spark. The Nissan Z motor was another twin spark motor using this system, but isn't related to the Alfa motor in any way. They were also available with the Busso V6, a motor used in lots of cars all the way back from 1979 and up until 2005. Most of these being Alfa Romeos, but it was also used in some Fiats and Lancias too. The 2.5 litre version in the 156 made 140 kilowatt and 222 Newton meters of torque. It was a quad cam, and in my opinion this is one of the best looking engines of the 2000s, with its beautiful chrome plated intake manifold and aluminium rocker covers. Later 4-cylinder Alfas were fitted with the JTS after 2002, a dual overhead cam, single spark, 2 litre, making 121 kilowatts and 206 Newton meters. There were also diesel models known as the JTD, but these were never sold in Australia. The 156s were fitted with a 5-speed manual trans or a semi-speed automatic, which is basically an automatic clutch, similar to what vehicles like the Ford Focus, Fiesta and Mondeo use. This car is a great car to drive, and it revs high up to 7,000 RPM and it handles like it's on rails. However, it's still only a front-wheel drive car, which is probably its biggest downfall. Even though a stock Commodore of the same era handles far worse, it's still a lot more fun to drive than the Alfa due to it being front-wheel drive. At least this is my opinion. If they were made as rear-wheel drive cars, they would be absolutely amazing cars to drive. When they were released, they were thought of as a very stylish car, and in my opinion, it is from the front anyway, with a cool looking grille and bumper, but from the sides and the back, it looks pretty bland, I reckon. Not bad, just bland. And my friend thought it was a Proton from the back when she first saw it. The Alfa's interior is amazing, I reckon. Very comfortable seats and a beautiful real wood steering wheel made from mahogany, which will put any Ford Fairmont gear to shame. It also has a bit of fake wood on the dash and uses some really nice quality materials all round. You can also switch off the passenger airbag of the car to allow children to safely sit in the front seat. Interestingly enough, the temperature gauge is mounted pretty far away from where you look, so you always have to check to make sure your car doesn't overheat. There was also a station wagon version made too, but these are far less common than sedans, and also a performance version called the GTA, which made 184 kilowatt with a 3.2 litre Busso V6. And there was an update in 2003 where the 156 received a new front end and rear end, as well as an updated interior. Now the Alfa 156 is really an amazing car for what they are worth. It really is a driver's car, but not so much a car for daily driving long distances on rough country roads in rural Australia. Reliability is not the greatest, and parts are not easy to get and will probably have to be ordered online. You also need a fair few special tools to work on these, at least with the twin spark models anyway. So, if you only have one car, I would really not recommend a 156. But as a second car, used mainly for weekends, an Alfa 156 would be a great choice, I reckon. A car like this will require more maintenance and repairs than a standard car, like a Falcon or a Commodore, but this really is more of an enthusiast vehicle rather than a commuter car. Alfa Romeos in general in Australia have a reputation of being unreliable, but at the same time great to drive, which seems to be true on both counts after owning this one for the last few weeks. At the time of riding in 2024, on the used car market, you can pick up an Alfa Romeo 156 for $4,000. But there's a catch. It has to be this one, as it's currently the only road legal one for sale in the whole state of Western Australia, and will probably be sold by the time this video is released. The 156 was never a common car to see on Australian roads, and now they are a rare sight, especially the pre-update models like this one. Will they become collectible in the future? Only time will tell. Alfa Romeo 156 0260.